Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today with you guys is another MCU review. You saw the thumbnail and the title. We're reviewing the next MCU film, Black Widow. Now this is the first female solo Marvel movie, and yes, I'll say it right off the bat, this is a better movie than Wonder Woman. I know, what the fuck, I know. But anyway, if you enjoy this review, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, it's free. Takes a second, really helps me out. Anyway, with Black Widow, this is going to be the first one I'm not overly positive on. I know we've kind of been having, a lot of these videos are like, yeah, it's a good movie, it's a good movie, and that's because they were. I'm not going to lie and make stuff up. I do think, yes, this is a good movie. I would actually say it's a very good movie. I really loved rewatching it, but there's a lot of issues here, and sometimes the bad may outweigh the good a bit. But let's start with the bad, I guess. Black Widow. Well, before I get into that, let me pull up something here. I was on Reddit the other day, just looking up something, and this is the first MCU movie I can clearly say is woke. Now, I'm not gonna turn political or shit like that, but you guys know I'm Republican, and I don't like the woke stuff. And I think not many do now. And with that, I kind of wanted to tap into this Reddit post because it actually has some good things, and some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. But we're gonna get into it. So this is from Reddit user Thorl. I don't know if you see this. All right. So it says Black Widow's on the woke spectrum. I'm not gonna read it all. It says first, all good guys in the movie, all good people are women or people of color, black people, Asians, that kind of thing. Second, all bad guys are white males. Third, all white non-bad guys are incompetent. So let's get into that. All good guys are women or people of color. That obviously doesn't mean anything's woke, okay? The movie's effing called Black Widow, and there's a lot of girls in it. No shit. It's called Black Widow. A girl. Again, having a female or a black person or an Asian or anything other than white male is not inherently bad. That's not the problem I have with it. That's not woke. That's diversity in a good way, as long as we're all written well. All bad guys are white male. Yeah, the bad guy's a white dude, but that's the case with like 85% of movies ever. So that's not an issue. Third, all white non-bad guys are incompetent. That's the thing that we're going to get into. Yes, it's a Black Widow movie, blah, 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 blah. This person's kind of complaining that all the women in the Red Room who are doing these heinous things, they're all assassins, they're all killers. Because they're women, they're good. But, women can't be bad because, they have a mind control chip in their neck. So, yeah, they're doing bad things, but they're not actually willingly doing it, so that's woke. I don't agree with that. I think that they have a story to tell. And obviously Black Widow, the Red Room is something, this movie is something we've been seeing since basically Avengers 1, where Loki says, Dreykov's daughter, something like that, when he's getting interrogated by her in Avengers 1. So we've been leading up to this. This is not just a random out of the blue film. But at the same time, all the women in this are doing bad things, but they're not really doing it willingly. I don't think that's a woke thing. I think that's just a thing where you have to tell your story, and the bad guy is using the chip to do that. Like, that's where Taskmaster comes in. Obviously, Black Widow thinks he's killed, or she's killed Dreykov's daughter to get to Dreykov, the bad guy, who's Mac from Crystal Skull. And in that, doing a very bad accent in this movie, I can tell you what. But in that act of Black Widow thinking she's killed a little girl, that effed her up inside. And yeah, it doesn't matter that little girl turned out to be Taskmaster, right? That's not the point. The point is she thinks she killed someone. It's like Darth Vader killing Palpatine. It doesn't ruin anything that Palpatine came back, because Vader didn't kill Palpatine to kill Palpatine. He killed Palpatine to save Luke. So that's why it doesn't break anything in the sequels. That's why it doesn't break anything here, because that Black Widow still, even though she didn't kill a little girl, essentially through that mind control, through a jacked up looking face, she kind of turned out worse than death, honestly, under her dad. So obviously people also freaked out that, Taskmaster's a girl? Woke! And I get it, Taskmaster has been a dude forever, and it's a bit weird that they change it, but again, to fit the narrative of the story where the Red Room is all women, again, it makes sense that it would be Dreykov's daughter, who is all grown up, and kind of, the ultimate Taskmaster, right, the ultimate assassin in this Red Room facility. I don't got a problem with any of that. What I do have a problem with is Red Guardian. Let's get into it. Alright, let's see. Dreykov's daughter, blah, blah, blah. Then, okay, here we go. I'm going to read this verbatim because this is interesting. Then you have David Harbour. David Harbour played Red Guardian. The movie starts by portraying Alexei, Red Guardian, as a competent spy and super strong, right? He flips the truck. He's smart. He's talking to his wife. He loves his kids. He's, shooting at cops and all that shit. I mean, that's not a good thing. But, he's protecting his family. He's doing cool shit. He's not an idiot. Then he's transformed into a fat goofball and the incompetent joke character. When he faces off against Taskmaster, suddenly he's no stronger than her. He lifted 1,000-pound trailers. He broke the arm of a huge Russian guy in prison. He can't outmuscle a non-superpowered 140-pound woman. Yeah, that is my issue too. I'm done with the phone. That's my issue too. I don't understand why they wrote Alexei Red Guardian like this. He's shown as a competent male character who, again, flips things like he's literally a super soldier, and he breaks the arm of a guy. He's a strong guy. He's smart. He cares about his family. He knows what's up. And as the movie goes on, maybe you can justify it through prison, whatever. He's got the beard. He's fat. Obviously, being fat's not overly bad. It's probably not healthy, but it's not like a horrible thing to be. But he's a fat guy now. He's called a pig by his wife. His wife named a literal animal pig, Alexei, after him. Every time that he tries to fight or do anything against Taskmaster, again, Red Guardian is a super soldier who has beaten up bigger men than him, can't handle a small woman. I get it, the woman is Taskmaster and she's a badass and she can copy Black Panther and Hawkeye and Captain America and all these things. But I'm not trying to say women are physically not as strong as men, but I mean, they are. That women were genetically made that way. I know women can be jacked, but all in all, if you get Hulk versus a girl, Hulk's gonna win. You know what I mean? So it's really weird that Taskmaster just completely blew through Red Guardian like it was nothing. I get it, he deflects the shield, but then he gets his butt handed to him. And every time Red Guardian tries to have a heart-on-heart with either Natasha or Yelena, your earpiece doesn't work. Huh? They left the room. Oh, you're fat. Oh, you're incompetent and stupid. Oh. Every time Red Guardian tries to do anything heroic, whether that be a fight scene, or talk to his daughters, or have a heart-on-heart with his wife, he gets made fun of. Same with the guy, I don't remember his name, the guy on the cover, this dude here. He gets made fun, he supplies Natasha with supplies. He gets chastised almost every scene he's in by the women. Oh man, you're sleeping, what are you, lazy? Oh, you're cheap. Oh man, you're sensitive. Grow a spine. It seems very... not as strong as the Barbie, because the Barbie movie is extremely woke. It's a man-hating film. But this, it feels like a quote-unquote man-hating film. And it's not just because the main bad guy's a white dude. I don't got a problem with that. Again, my problem is that, they took a very careful look at Wanda, for example, in WandaVision. Thor, I get it. That's a bit different. We can make a video on that. But this... Red Guardian has been through a lot. He genuinely loves his family. Probably the only one who really does the whole time. And he just gets made fun of and bullied, and he can't overpower a woman, even though he's beaten up bigger men than him, who are stronger than the woman. It's very suspicious that they kind of wrote him that way, especially in the beginning of the movie where he's not like that. Again, it does seem very woke. It does seem very strong, independent women. We're powerful. The men are weak, and they don't count. And men are bad now. That's a horrible message to send to anyone. Women and men, generally speaking, should be seen as equal. You shouldn't need to make a woman less to make a man greater in a movie. You shouldn't need for a woman to belittle and chastise and bully a male character to make that female character seem stronger. That's not good writing. That's woke. That's horrible. That's not how people work. You know what I mean? You can have a strong, independent woman without needing to make the man feel little. And that's what this movie doesn't understand. And that's a negative. That is genuinely a negative of this movie. It took me out of it. It went, why is he written like... why? He can't... I mean, I guess he beat up... he threw the shield in the end, but it's like he barely did anything of notice. You know what I mean? The other guy... He barely did anything. I get it. It's called Black Widow, so obviously Black Widow and Yelena Belova and the mom, they're powerful because we've seen them, right? We've seen, at least with Scarlet Johansson, Black Widow, she's a strong, independent woman. And that's not a bad thing, because we've seen her grow. She's a very well-written character. And her kind of going throughout this self-journey of tackling her past with the Red Room. And, you know, by the end of the movie, the Red Room doesn't even effing exist. It's gone. And I like that. You know, it shows that this is a pretty stylized and standalone, you know, fielded off movie, while still, you know, building up to other stuff with Yelena, of course, when we get to the Hawkeye show. So it's a good film, right? I'm not going to say it's bad. I do like this movie. The action is phenomenal. I think it's, you know, I don't really know how much of it was done practically, but it looks real. It looks really great. I love the fighting. There is one fight scene, though. Again, you know, the fight scenes are great. There's one fight scene, though, that I genuinely don't effing understand, and it's a writing issue, I think. It's the scene where Black Widow and Yelena are fighting in their apartment when they first meet, and, you know, she's like, oh, I don't know if I can trust you. And she's like, I don't know if I can trust you either. And then, you know, they grab the pistol and they start fighting. And it's not like a playful fight. Like, they're beating plates over each other's head, and they're punching and kicking each other. They try to shoot each other. Yelena tries to gut her with a butcher knife. And then it all ends with her wrapping the fucking, like, curtain around her neck, and they're both choking each other out, about to die, until they say truce. That's not playful. That's a I'm gonna murder you fight scene, right? It's brutal and intense. And you know, glass, you know, papers, plates are shattering, and it's dirty, and it's like, choreography wise, it's great, but it makes no effing sense, because I get it, you know, on the one hand, oh, I don't know if I can trust you, but just talk it out. Like, I get it, you wanted a cool, flashy action scene for the trailer, but it looks great, but like, by the time they say their truce, literally the next effing scene, they're just talking, and they're like, oh yeah, well, you know how Mom was, you know, it's like, no one's going to mention the fact that, like, there's no line in the movie. I would have added a line like, hey, you know, you almost killed me with that dinner plate. You know, something. Something that could be funny that Yelena would say that would justify the whole damn thing. But instead they're like, nah, fuck it, let's move on. You know, it's like, alright, that's kind of weird. It's very strange how they did that. But otherwise, the action is great. I love it. I think it's really good. I love the world building. I think that the Red Room thing in the sky is really cool. The CGI, though, this was a COVID film, and I know COVID sucked, but that's not an excuse to make your movie look like death. I get it, all right? I'm not a movie maker, okay? Making movies is hard, especially during COVID where everyone's in their house dying. But at the same time, with that, movies are not video games. You can patch a video game glitch, right? If there's a glitch or a bug in a game, you can effing patch that and it's gone. Movies, when a movie's done, it's basically done. Movies are forever. So if your movie looks like trash, it's going to look like trash forever. Maybe delay your movie. I don't know. Just a thought. But with that, it's really weird that, you know, it's not horrible, but there's obviously, we've all seen the effing moment where she's like, it's been fun, and she uses the bow staff or whatever, and, you know, Yelena, and the fucking, like, rotor, and she shoots back. Obviously, it's a wire pole on a green screen. The explosion's all discolored. It's a really tiny explosion. It doesn't look great. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and you know, bully that scene. It's not great, but then you move on, right? It's like Black Panther 1. Not great, you move on. But at the same time with that, you know, you combine that with the weird fight scene, the really woke aspect, and, you know, how it just completely butchers the male characters to uplift the female characters. It's very strangely made in that way, but overall, again, I do like the CGI for the most part. I love the fighting for the most part. I think the writing for the most part is good. A lot of this is asterisks for the most part. But no, I mean, I like the chemistry between Black Widow and Yelena. I think the comedy works. I think there's some really dark elements. There's like the opening where they play like, I don't even know the name of the song. It's like a slowed down version of a song, and I'm not really a big fan of that. I don't really like movies where they have the credits in the beginning. I think it wastes your time, and like, I don't care. Show me. I'm going to see this at the end anyway. I'm not a fan of that. I think it could have been done a little bit different. I get it. Through the credits, you're selling the story of you know, Yelena and Natasha as they were little girls. And literally every time I watch the movie, the girl that plays little Natasha, I swear to God, I think it's a boy for the first 5 seconds. I don't know if it's the hair color or the hair length or what. Even my mom walked in. She's like, "Is that a boy?" I'm like, "No, that's Natasha." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of weird." Apparently she's like a model or something. I don't know. I didn't really look into it, but yeah, she looks a good dude. What do you do? But you know, obviously she is a good actress, though. I mean, the two little girls are good. I think the opening is strong. It sets up the scene well, and again, you get to that, and there's a lot of action, a lot of fighting, and there's a lot of, truths being told, a lot of stuff that Natasha has to face her past. And even though she didn't kill that little girl, she grew up to be Taskmaster, who was, again, this killing machine with a chip in her neck, and really the bad guy is just effing crazy. Him being white means nothing, apparently to that Reddit guy it does, but I think that he plays a good villain. He's basically just a sadistic weirdo. He literally, I guess he has a good intention that, hey, he tells Natasha, hey, I save little girls, I go around the world and I save them from poverty or death or whatever. I basically take unwanted garbage little girl children that no one wants, and I train them into someone that will matter. And I get that, but it's also really effed up and weird. So, there's that. But when, that kind of red mist hits them and they get that free will in the end, I like that. That's cool. Even though none of them can have sex because they did what happened to my mom. Fucking removed all her innards. Not all her innards because she's alive, but the reproductive ones they took out. And they go into detail on that, which obviously we've seen that in Age of Ultron, so that's, not new. But I think, there's a lot of jacked up stuff that happened to Natasha and Yelena, and I think that they do a pretty good job of paying homage to that, to the past, and looking forward to future stuff with Yelena. Obviously, when this movie came out, Black Widow died in Endgame, so it was cool to see her back. Apparently, she filmed a lot of this while pregnant. Obviously, that's a lot of CGI in her stomach. Maybe she wasn't overly pregnant and you couldn't tell, I don't really know, but apparently she did a lot of this pregnant, so that's cool that she did that. But yeah, again, I don't want to come across as hating this movie, but this is the first one where I think there's a lot more negatives than there are positive. But fun-wise, I do watch this movie a lot. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun action movie. I like it. It's good. But there's a lot of stuff that is a little bit wonky, specifically the woke thing, the fight scene that makes no sense, the a little bit wonky CGI. Again, I get it. Time restrictions, money, COVID, but like I said, movies are forever. If your movie looks like trash, it's always going to look like trash. And that's the legacy your movie's going to have, is that literally when everyone talks about Black Widow, it's just that really crap shot where Yelena goes backwards. The movie is genuinely good. For the most part, there's a lot of good elements in this that are great. I think the chemistry is good, the action's fun, and some good jokes, some dark stuff in there, some good plot. It's just a shame that some of it's bogged down by some weird writing, but other than that, I think it's a very good film. So I'm going to give Black Widow from an F to an A+, probably give it a B or a B-. This is the first one I'm not giving an A or an A+. I mean, again, I don't want to sell this movie as being bad, but this is, I think, the start of the woke writing. It's the start of the wonky CGI. We're in that era of the MCU now. And who knows, maybe I'll like more of it going forward, but overall, rewatching it, I did enjoy this movie. I don't think it deserves the hate that it gets online. There's some stuff I'm not too keen on, but for the most part, it's a fun action movie, and I enjoyed it. Has some good character arcs, some good character moments, and, made Black Widow, for me, more of a well-written character than just a sexy spy who's dead now. She actually has a character that, we actually get to see Budapest, as she says, or we get to see the Red Room. We get to see her origin and how she grew up. That's some interesting stuff. And I think people kind of overlooked that in terms of the Red Guardian stuff and the weird CGI. But I would give this a rewatch if I were you. If you just saw it once or twice, you don't really remember a whole lot like myself, rewatch it. It's 133 minutes, so it's a little over two hours or so, but I think it's a good film nonetheless. Some issues here or there, but yeah, I think a B is a pretty good range for Black Widow. But tell me down below in the comments what you thought about it. Again, to end it how I began, I think it is better than Wonder Woman, so there you go. But I do really enjoy this movie for the most part, and I'm excited to tackle What If Season 1, which I have not actually ever finished, so it's going to be fun looking back on that. So yeah, that'll be next, and then I believe it's Shang-Chi, and then the Eternals, and then we might have to wait a bit, because after the Eternals, it's Hawkeye, and I have that ordered on Blu-ray. That should be coming in soon in the mail. But, we got more Advanced Warfare to film, and we got reactions, we got a whole bunch of fun stuff. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that. Again, it's free, it takes a second, helps me out, and let's have a conversation about Black Widow down in the comments down below. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.